This is our second video looking at poverty and more specifically how poverty affects academic performance. We'll be looking at each of these, again, risk factors for children raised in poverty, emotional and social challenges, acute and chronic stressors, cognitive lags, and health and safety issues. First, some of the emotional and social challenges. Very young children require healthy learning and exploration for optimal brain development. All right, the brain is the center for emotions and intellectual functioning. It affects how we interact with ourselves and with others. We aren't just walking Skinner boxes, just responding to rewards and punishments. Human beings are much more complex than that. So, our healthy cognitive development, this is our learning organ. So, we think and we emote with the same brain. Poverty results in higher rates of adverse factors for that cognitive, social, and emotional development. Higher rates in teen mothers. That affects both the infant and child development in all areas as well as the family. Depression, that's both family and the child, and inadequate health care, which severely affects learning, For healthy development, children under the age of 3 need these things: a strong, reliable primary caregiver who provides consistent, unconditional love on a regular basis, a safe, predictable environment, and 20 to 30 hours a week of harmonious, reciprocal interactions, interacting with, not talking to. Talking with a child, responding to the child is one of the most important things that you can do for cognitive development, for learning from birth to toddlers and preschool. Uh, Verbal skills is one of the best predictors of later reading skills. Attunement is crucial as well during the first 6 to 24 months of an infant's life. That is being aware of and responsive to your child. How does your child feel? Is that child happy, sad, interested? All right. That is also critical for cognitive and social development. However, in many poverty households, time is short. People are stressed out. There's anxiety and tension resulting from just trying to survive. Caretakers who are overworked, stressed, tend to be authoritative, less attunement, less time to talk with, just don't have time. Low income parents, often overwhelmed by diminished self esteem, depression, sense of powerlessness, and an inability to cope. These feelings get passed to children in the forms of insufficient uh, insufficient nurturing and negativity. Low income parents are overstressed just trying to meet the family needs. Now, the human brain, this is an evolutionary perspective that enables us to survive. It downloads or absorbs the environment indiscriminately in order to make sense of it. We need to be able to predict our environment, what's happening in the environment, in order to survive. Prediction is necessary or was necessary for our survival. So if we are downloading the stress, anxiety, fear, hopelessness, we naturally download this. We are absorbing that from our environment. Young children are. So, emotions. What are emotions? They are a physiological response to external conditions. We respond physically. The brain is naturally hardwired for these 6 emotions: fear, joy, anger, surprise, disgust, and emotion. So, we are physiologically responding to things in our environment. Emotions are a physiological response. So, if there are negative things in the environment, we are responding negatively. A cycle. Poverty can impede children's ability to learn, which contributes to further social, emotional, and behavioral problems, which contribute to children's ability to learn. So one thing affects the other, and affects the other, affects the other. The cycle continues. Poverty can contribute to poor physical and mental health, which impedes the ability to learn, which contributes to further social, emotional, and behavioral problems, etc., etc., etc. And it's not that people living in poverty are less able or less smart, less able to achieve. There are things that get in the way that prevent them from achieving their full potential. And we want all people to achieve their full potential in our environment. We all benefit when all are able to reach their full potential. Risks are greatest for children who experience poverty when they are young or when they experience deep and persistent poverty. The greatest risk related to cognitive, social, and emotional development. Children raised in poverty are more likely to display these things: acting out behaviors, impatience, impulsivity. And we have a tendency to say, well, that's a naughty kid. Well, children act for reasons. They do things because of certain things. Gaps in politeness and social graces, inappropriate emotional responses, and less empathy. More apt to display these things. So one of the things as teachers, we must teach positive social skills and emotional responses. We cannot assume that children know these things. And again, these emotions are hardwired. These are the basic six: sadness, joy, disgust. But we have to teach them these emotions or responses: humility, forgiveness, empathy, optimism, compassion. Think about it. How do you teach these? What does this mean? That's beyond the scope of this, but we can not only teach these, we can model these, we can develop these. Not only can we must. Now, here's the thing, and we're going to talk about the relationship forces that drive. All humans want these three things, whether you're in second grade or an adult: someone who cares for them, friends to play with them, and someone to say, good job. Now, this is what I noticed when I was teaching second grade. So this was Eric Jensen said, and this is essentially the same thing. Humans have three relational forces that drive all human behavior. Teaching starts with a relationship, by the way. Humans have this natural drive for reliable mentor relationships. That's a teacher or a parent, a primary caregiver. All right. And again, teaching starts with a relationship. Now, if you're in a stressful environment, you may not always have this, but you want this. So the school may be the only place to get that. Humans have a natural drive for peer relationships, and part of our job is to strengthen these peer relationships, socializations, friends to play with. So we are teaching social and emotional skills in our classrooms, and we are having them work in small groups to the greatest extent possible, so they're not isolated things. And humans have a natural drive for important social status, feel they can do something. Good job. And if we don't find something that they can do well, they will find something that they do well. And it could be something positive, but it could be something negative, like the comedian or a gang leader or the drug guy or something. So all human beings want to be good at something, some sort of social status. So what, you say? Well, we can't ignore the soft side of the curriculum, and that's in parentheses. The soft side is actually the hardest side of all, dealing with feelings and emotions, because our brain feels and thinks with we think with the same organ we feel with. We can't reward and punish our way into good behavior. We have to address the social and emotional side of students if we want them to develop their full capacity and be able to learn. And a related thing, we cannot manipulate our way into true learning and true behavior. We only get compliance and avoidance of behaviors, meaning we can't reward and punish our way into students learning. We can't learn them. We can't make them learn. We can't make them behave. We can only help them avoid certain behaviors. So, some action steps. First of all, embody respect and be respectful. That means give respect to students unconditionally. You don't have to respect or appreciate the behavior, but you do have to respect the kid. You may not I don't like what you're doing now, Bob, but I care for you and I want you to do well here. All right. Embody respect, be respectful. And part of that is being respectful is empowering students, sharing decision makings to the greatest extent possible, avoiding directives. Would you rather do this or would you rather do that? Discipline through positive relationships, not by exerting power. I am the teacher and you're going to do this. So we want to teach students to be self-disciplined. Discipline is teaching students how to discipline themselves versus simply making bad things happen. And that's what most people think of when they think of discipline. I'm going to make bad things happen to you. I'm going to be a tough teacher. That does not work. And embedding social skills in the curriculum, teaching students how to be human beings in every class, how to smile, how to greet people, how to cooperate, how to be a friend. These are some of the action steps. And the next video, we will be looking at acute and chronic stressors.